Our Nancy Cortez, she's been listening to the speech along with us from Washington. She's covered him for years. Nancy, he hammered home his will to stress foreign policy. Is that how he's trying to stand out from the pack?
He is, and he represents this wing of the Republican Party that used to be much bigger on Capitol Hill, which are the hawks, the national security hawks. And you've seen that shrink over time. You've got a new cadre of Tea Party Republicans who have come in who say, you know, we need to cut spending, including defense. You've got libertarians like Rand Paul who say we shouldn't be as involved around the world as we are. And so Lindsey Graham is really trying to make a case for more U.S. involvement, not less. And if there was any doubt of that before, you watched that speech where he basically spent 3/4 of the time talking solely about national security. This is someone who wants to be president of the United States. He paid a little bit of lip service to Social Security and Medicare. He talked about energy independence a bit, limited government a bit, but really this was a speech first and foremost putting forth his view on how a president should handle national security.
Yeah, Nancy, I find it really interesting that he is sort of positioning himself as the anti-Rand Paul, and yet he's never really appealed to the conservative base. He has also an immigration policy that doesn't appeal to them. How is that going to play into this security idea that he's sort of presenting to the American people? He's been criticized by some members of the conservative wing of the party for saying that he doesn't want to scapegoat people that are here illegally.
Right. Well, I think he wants to make sure that that position, the hawkish view, is represented in this political campaign. If presidential campaigns are about selecting a president, a commander-in-chief, but also about parties hashing out where they stand, he wants to make sure that his views and the views of others like him are represented on those debate stages. Lindsey Graham is a unique character. He is with conservatives on some issues. On other issues like immigration that you mentioned, he tends to be more centrist, and he was part of that group that worked together to try to craft an immigration compromise, and he got a lot of blowback for it. But unlike some other Republicans who kind of didn't want the heat and kind of backed away from the bill, he stuck with it, and he's very secure in his position in South Carolina. So I think at this point he's been serving in Congress so long that he feels very comfortable kind of going whichever way his conscience takes him on a variety of issues.
Nancy, it's pretty well known that his best friend is Senator John McCain and also one of his biggest supporters. Do you think he's taking a page out of his playbook when Senator McCain won the nomination in 2008 when he was pushing for the surge?
Absolutely. He spent a lot of time on the road with John McCain, so he saw firsthand how it works to run for president. He's often joked that he is John McCain's little brother. They are, a real twosome on Capitol Hill. They often work together on issues, and I think that probably behind the scenes, McCain has been egging him on and saying, you should do this. This is your time. You've got to be out there sort of pushing for what we believe in.
And he also, Nancy, I thought it was interesting that he really didn't go after Hillary Clinton, the presumptive Democratic nominee, although that field is starting to widen now with Martin O'Malley and Bernie Sanders. So is his strategy essentially to continue to appeal to Republicans and not really focus so much on Hillary? Because, after all, he's got 8 other candidates in the GOP to contend with.
Yeah, in fact, he only mentioned her once that I could hear. He said he has more national security experience than anyone in the race, and that includes you, Hillary, which is an obvious dig because she was, after all, the Secretary of State. He joked that his reset with Russia would stick. You recall she famously pressed a reset button with a Russian official, and of course, the relationship with Russia kind of went downhill from there. So I think he's certainly not afraid to take Hillary on. He is always very comfortable in saying what he thinks about his opponents and people he disagrees with. But I think today was more about laying out his vision of foreign affairs and national security, because that's really the message that he wants to get out there, that he wants people to be seeing on social media, that he wants them to be seeing on the news, is that he is the national security candidate.
Nancy Cortez in Washington. Nancy, thank you so much.